So everybody talks about all the Tumblr genders, and everybody always argues about how many genders there really are. Have you ever wanted to know the complete list of every single gender that Tumblr makes up every day? Me neither. But fuck it, I'm doing it anyway. First up we have ambigender. A gender which is profound, deep, and infinite. Deep and infinite, what the fuck does that even mean? What? I sexually identify as a sinkhole. I sexually identify as a porn star's vagina. Next up we have absorbogender. A gender that changes to conform to the genders of those around you. As you are around more people, even if some leave, they continue to add to the genders you feel. You remain as the genders that you have taken in until you hit a max of some sort. At that point you become like a blank slate, being only one gender. It doesn't have to be agender or neutral. It can be any gender, and the base of gender can be different each time. If you absorb one gender more easily than the other genders, you can replace gender in the term with the gender you absorb best. Like absorbo girl? Absorb-non-binary. Absorb-demi boy. Absorbogender, what the fuck are you, Kirby? The Blob? What gender do you identify as today? I identify as an 80-year-old man that just fell down the stairs and was reminded of how fragile he is and how his life is going to end soon due to his fragility and old age. Yeah, I'm pretty depressed right now. Shouldn't have sat next to that old man and absorbed him. A dumbest gender. A gender which refuses to be categorized. So this is the special snowflake gender. This is the gender that's like, oh, I'm different. It's not just a phase, mom, I just can't fit in. It's who I am. Adeptogender. When your gender identity was obtained through the realization of your kin self, as your kin realization spurred your gender realization. Note, the gender and kin type do not have to necessarily correlate with each other. Oh yeah, of course, why would they? Adeptogender sounds like some sort of Down syndrome superhero or something. I think that's pronounced aethergender? A gender that feels very wide, commanding, breathtaking, and powerful. I bet you the only people who identify as this gender are those like really skinny, basement-dwelling, acne-covered, nerdy kids with the big glasses and braces. Like, I may be physically small, but I'm inside, I'm so powerful, I'll show them. Affectogender. A gender affected by mood swings. So this is angsty teen, the gender. Alexigender. Gender identity which is fluid between more than one gender, but the individual cannot tell what those genders are. Maybe because you got fucking 76 of them. I mean, I don't even know how long this fucking list is. And there's probably a new one being invented every single day. How do you remember any of this shit? Alias gender. A gender which is removed from common gender descriptors or guidelines. Isn't that every gender on this list? Ambigender, a feeling of two genders simultaneously but without fluidity or shifting, may be used synonymously in some cases with bigender. What? How can you be feminine and masculine at the same time? It's like saying you're a short, tall person. It's like saying you're a square circle. Oh no, but that's no reason for it to not exist. I've probably offended like 5 toasters and I've probably offended some attack helicopters. I'm sorry. Emergender. A gender that changes depending on who you're in love with. I'm in love with a toaster, so I changed my gender to toast. Amboneck. Identifying as both man and woman, yet neither at the same time. What? Amicagender. A gender that changes depending on which friend you're with at the moment. So it's the same as the love one? Why would you have 2 different words for it? Amorgender. When your gender changes whilst in the presence of an individual to whom you have developed a deep connection for. This could be a romantic attraction, platonic connection, a spiritual affinity, or anything similar. That's the same as the other ones. Why do you need another word for it? All these genders are just random bits of personality of special snowflakes, and they just invent different words for the same fucking thing so they can identify as everything and nothing simultaneously. Like, that makes any sense. Anisigender. Physically feeling like a certain gender but feeling more comfortable identifying as another? What? It kind of sounds like someone wants to be transgender because they think it's trendy for oppression points, but they don't feel like a transgender person, so they just invented something else that sounds the same but isn't. It doesn't make any sense. Angel gender. A gender found only among angels that it is hard to describe to non-angels. For godkin and angelkin only. Who the fuck identifies as a godkin? Who has a big enough fucking ego to be like, oh yeah, I'm Zeus? I'm a Jesus? Angenital. A desire to be without primary sexual characteristics without necessarily being genderless? I'm starting to think everyone on Tumblr is just on drugs. Like really, really bad drugs. Anogender. A gender which fades in and out, but always comes back feeling the same. Where does it go when it fades out? Does it go on holiday? And what do you just become like this grey blob of nothing when the gender's gone? Anon-gender. A gender which is unknown to both yourself and others. Well, maybe it wouldn't be that hard to realize what gender you are if you didn't invent 76 of them. Antigender. A protein gender which has the potential to be anything, but is formless and motionless. How the fuck can a gender be motionless? And therefore does not manifest as any particular gender. Wait, is this a gender, or is it like you being possessed by Satan? What is going on? Anti-gender. A gender which can only be described as the opposite or another gender? Anti-boy being the opposite of boy. So anti-boy is girl. So you're a girl. What the fuck? Anxi-gender. A gender affected by anxiety. Okay, if you feel like you have to wear your anxiety as a trophy and only do it because it gives you oppression points to the point where you make a gender for your anxiety, just never leave your house, please. I think that would be better for you. Apagender. A feeling of apathy towards one's gender that causes one to have no desire to look further into it. Apconzigender. A gender which in you know what it isn't, but not what it is. Sort of like the gender is hiding itself from you. These aren't genders, this is just people thinking they're being like possessed or they're on drugs or something. Gender isn't like a soul. Apogender. A subset of agender in which you feel not only genderless but entirely removed from the concept of gender. Isn't that what genderless means? Now don't get me wrong, I don't think that genderless is a thing, but hey, you know, we got genders and subgenders, and like they're a bunch of rock fans and they're like, oh no, you have to know every single subgenre and genre of gender, otherwise you can't identify as gender, like you have to know every single one. Apologender. When you have around 9, can be anywhere from 6 to 10, different distinct feelings of gender that have been combined into one big gender identity. Aporagender. A gender separate from man, boy, woman, girl, and anything in between while still having a gendered feeling. So you can literally be a fucking toaster. Aptogender. A gender which feels fitted and secured. So your normal fucking gender. So as you can probably tell, this list is really fucking long and I'm gonna have to stop it there for now. I think I've contracted at least 3 different types of cancer from reading this. But if you want to hear more and delve further into the Tumblr realm, let me know and I can make this a series. I mean, we're only in the A's and these gender lists look like they go all the way through the alphabet, so that should be fun. They also mentioned something about otherkin sexuality, so I guess if we survive this we can look into that sometime. But remember kids, when it comes to you being a special snowflake,
ooh, nobody gives a shit!